What's up guys, it's your boy Jordan back with another e-commerce video, and in this video I want to talk about when it is the proper time to shut off an ad set or a campaign. I know a lot of you guys are out there testing these products every day and overlooking the metrics and having a tough time judging if it is the right time to shut it down or not. A lot of people will get one sale or two sales and say, is this scalable or should I kill it? And other people may already be scaling their campaigns and have an ad that may have performed well for a couple days or even a couple weeks, but then it dies down for a couple days and it causes all type of confusion as to, is this ad going to keep working for me? So we're going to jump into my computer and I'm going to show you guys the metrics and exact things that I look for when I decide it is time to shut down an advertisement. If you're interested in e-commerce and want to learn more advice on how to build your business, click the link in the description to join my free Facebook group called E-Com Accelerators Mastermind. There's over 1,000 amazing entrepreneurs in there who are all helpful and provide value. I'm also in there very frequently answering as many questions as I can. Also, if you like the quality of my content and want to see more, hit that subscribe button and tick the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. So when is the perfect time to decide to shut down your ad sets or your campaigns? Well, to be honest, I really think it's personal preference and it depends on the offer that you are providing. Some people may have a very unique offer that they really believe in and want to keep going. So it really is up to you. But I am going to provide the metrics / things that I look for when I'm reviewing my campaigns and my ad sets to decide if it's worth pursuing or to shut them down indefinitely. So I've broken it down into two categories because I view these things differently, and I'll go through them now. So for testing, the 3 indicators that I look for to shut down a ad set is if you hit the break even CPP. And simply what I mean by this is, let's say you're selling a product, you get it for $5, you sell the product for $25, your profit is $20. That is your break-even cost per purchase. Let me elaborate. So if you hit the $20 mark and you've yet to get a sale, it is not likely that your ad set is going to continue to perform in the long term at a profitable level. This isn't always the case, but 95% of the time in my testings, this has been the situation. So if you're testing something and you end up hitting that break-even CPP with no sale, I think it's in your best interest to kill that ad set. Or if you really believe in the product, try a new creative or optimize your landing page to the highest level. But usually if it's a winner, it's going to be selling itself. 2 other things that I look for. If the CPM is over $30, usually you're going to have a hard time scaling that ad set in the long run. And it's not necessarily worth your dollar because you could spend $5 to reach barely anybody. But when you're dealing with a CPM of $3 or $2, or I even have some CPMs below $1, you're going to reach a ton of people and your money is going to be much, much better spent. The only exclusion to this one is if you have something that is incredibly profitable. If it is doing really well, but it has a high CPM, you shouldn't worry that much and you should keep working with it. But a lot of times I found with stuff with a high CPM, it's really hard to get a good cost per purchase, and it's even harder to scale it and maintain that cost per purchase. The last thing I look for when I'm scaling is if the link CPC is over $3. I used to say if it was over $2, I would kill it. But more recently, I have been focusing on $3 because I've been having some success with ad sets with a CPC of over $2. And that's an awful, awful, awful stat. I mean, you really want it to be below $1, sometimes even below 50 cents. But like I said about the CPM, if it's working, it's working. And if you're really profitable, the stats don't necessarily matter. So that's another thing too. A lot of people will look at stats on an ad set that is doing horribly, no sales or barely any sales, maybe like a 1x ROAS. and they'll just keep going because they got a cheap CPC and a cheap CPM. That's not the proper way to approach this, guys. Your main focus should be to make money. If you're not profitable on these ad sets, but you have a really good stat somewhere else, try not to get too excited and keep your focus where it should be when reviewing these campaigns, and you'll lose a lot less money and your money will be spent a lot more accurately. When it comes to scaling, there is also 3 things that I like to look at, and I'm going to break them down. These are a little more technical, but not so much. So the big one that I look for with scaling is, I'll say, 3 to 5 days of ROAS below 2.5. And I'll word it like this. Basically, 3 days being unprofitable. Some people can be profitable with an ROAS of 2. Some people be 2.5. So whatever that return on ad spend is, that is not profitable for you. 2.5 is usually where it hovers for me. So we'll say that for this stat right here. But yeah, if you have an ad set that's been performing for weeks, 3-4 weeks, even a couple months, but you get a whole week of bad performance back to back to back to back to back, it's likely that it's time to switch something up or possibly move on to another product. The things you can do to alleviate this, I talked about in my previous videos on my Facebook ads blueprint. You can go check that out. I talk about how to kind of get a winning product back up and going. But yeah, 3 to 5 days of ROAS below 2.5 is a good metric to look at when you have a scaled up campaign that starts to not do so well and you're trying to decide if it's worth killing or not. Also, I'll just put this note so you guys can have it. You can keep it for longer, but if it was doing extremely well before, 7 days max. So you don't have to shut it down if you just get 3 days of bad performance. If it was doing like really well, 5x ROAS or plus, and you don't want to get rid of that ad set, let it run for a week if you've got the budget to spend. But that's up to you guys if you want to lose your money, or it might even bounce back. So like I said, it's really personal preference. These are all just general guidelines that I follow when I'm looking at my campaigns. But typically, if it dies off for a whole week's time, there's something that you're gonna have to switch up. So the next point that I'm gonna say, when scaling to bigger budgets, always allow 48 hours before killing the ad set. When you're scaling to these $100, $500, $1,000 budgets, Facebook needs a little bit of time to figure out the buying audience and to figure out who they're going to deliver this ad to the most. If you're killing this stuff 10 minutes within launch because it spent $30 and you freaking out, don't do that. Let it run for at least 48 hours when you launch these bigger budgets, and a lot of times you'll see that first day might not be good, but that second day it will take off. But if you get 2 days of bad performance on a new launch, like let's say you launch a $1,000 daily budget and you get 2 bad days in a row, shut it off, because it's likely that it's not going to bounce back. But that's a really good general metric to follow when you're scaling, at least 48 hours. To be honest, I won't even look at the stats for 48 hours just so I don't go crazy. But yeah, that's a good one to follow. And I'm going to end on this note here. I think that when you're scaling, even when you're testing, you should have patience and never get too attached to an ad set. Simply what I mean by this is, like I said, have patience. When you launch something, don't freak out when you see it not doing so well. Don't freak out when it doesn't do well right out of the gate. Just look over the stats, make a smart decision about it, and continue onward with the rest of the things that you have to do. And with the second point that I said about not getting too attached to an ad set, I've seen people have something work really, 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 really well, and then it dies off completely and they get angry, they get frustrated, they get sad, whatever it may be. That's not a proper way to run your business, and you're never going to be fulfilled living like that. If you have something that dies off, just pivot, just launch more ad sets, launch lookalike audiences, create a new ad creative. There's a lot of things you can do to bounce it back. Another note about never getting too attached to an ad set. This is more for the testing side of things, but I already kind of touched on this. I see people post stuff with with really good stats, but horrible sales. Like, it's not doing that well sales-wise, but they got a real cheap cost per link click or a real cheap thing here, and they're just like, okay, this thing's gonna be a winner. Is this a winner? Is this a winner? Usually, if you have to ask if it's a winner, it's not. Keep that in the front of your mind, guys, when you're testing these campaigns, when you're scaling. Take a screenshot of this if you want. Follow these metrics when you're deciding to shut down or kill your campaigns. And I hope this video was able to provide some value to you guys. If you enjoyed it and you learned something new, give me a thumbs up. Also, like I said in the beginning of the video, I would really appreciate if you join my free Facebook group in the link in the description. And also, hit that subscribe button, guys. Our family is growing. We're up to 1,300 people strong, and it's awesome to see how active you guys are on this channel. So, if you guys want me to keep dropping content, give me more ideas in the comment section below, and I'm going to keep pumping them out. But as for this video, I'm going to wrap it up. So, thank you guys for sticking all the way around to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.